Hi, Chris Duff over at Serious Land Capital, vacant land funding partner. Today, just wanted to share some insights on additional kind of AI tactics, even over the last 24 hours that we started, immediately implementing, just taking action. So I joined Callan's Uncommon Business Bootcamp, credit Callan to really leading the charge and teaching me a lot on the AI prompting side. About 8 months ago, in particular, and it's been incredible and not too surprising to see the continued success she's been finding taking her career and business offerings in that direction. And so we just continue to want to double down on the most cutting edge techniques as we lever up on this technology where very soon, if you're not using this, you're going to be way behind the pack here, and at risk of, I think, future job loss. I've talked about this in the past here. I'm only growing more, let's say, kind of both interested and a bit anxious about the possible outcome. If you look at AI 2027, I want to read through the whole project, but like with an overview, a couple of extremely talented engineers were who have had a track record of maybe I mentioned this from a few days ago. Now I'm forgive me if I'm repeating myself on some of this, but it's been sticking in my mind. Who have a track record of accurately predicting outcomes from where AI is going over like a half-decade type period. You're thinking over the next 3 years or so that AI superintelligence can be fully formed, and like the entire future of knowledge work, or even like the global monetary system, could be completely up in the air at that point. And it's like a coin flip's chance of that happening. And give or take another couple of years, then it might be a near guarantee. So I'm just preparing for this world to come to fruition. And who knows? No one can ever fully predict the future, but I'd rather prepare for at least coin flip chances or most likely outcomes, just based on my own self being involved now in these more routine technological breakthroughs, and just continuing to be stunned at the progress and utility of these AI tools. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case over the next few years here. But some additional techniques and just updated tools Callan was sharing. One is just Whisper Flow. I've used some of the kind of transcription softwares before over the past several months, and like they never fully stuck. I wasn't certain they were kind of nailing the kind of flow and approach that I would have for the tone of voice that I'm trying to strike, and like accurately conveying that. So it felt like there was a little bit of gap from the technology side here. I mean, transcription tools, like they're not new. They've been around forever. I mean, doctors are using it. It's called like Dragon or something. I know even 10 plus years ago when I was in med school, it was around. I just don't think it was as good as it is now. But yeah, this new Whisper Flow one, where I tried it a few times, I'm just already upgraded to the paid version, not too expensive, just because it so seamlessly integrates into like any text field on your native desktop. So it's just such a kind of smooth UX, or be the right phrasing there. I don't need to throw another verb in, that it really kind of fit what I need transcription type of software to do, where I just like instantly, okay, let me train myself to do this properly within emails and Slack. And I probably need to get a little bit better in terms of, okay, like pausing, let it sort some pieces out, then continuing on, because sometimes like I'll just start to, even when I'm doing, these podcasts, as I'm sure many of you can tell, like, okay, I'll pause a thought there, retract, go back, and progress onward again. So, but when you're trying to get kind of like a written thought out, that's like not always the most conducive. So I'm trying to get better about keeping it smooth in terms of my dictation for the transcription software. But overall, I've been very impressed, and just speeding things up, both for AI prompts, which, can be quite lengthy, or just, response to the end over Slack and so forth. Like sometimes, when I'm just typing out these prompts, you're like, man, like 5-10 minutes just went by. That could have just been way faster if I was talking. And so just like shave a minute off here, shave a minute off there, all of a sudden you become that much more proficient and efficient within the skills that you bring to bear within your business and personal life. And I was just, thinking in my head about this too, just like where this technology is heading. Like we're really, a bit dystopian, but also kind of funny and not, too unrealistic, is that, we could truly be heading to like a Wall-E type world. For those of you who hadn't watched that Pixar movie, it came out probably close to 20 years ago at this point. The robot who is on like some drunk world, and then again, it's been forever since I've seen it, but I know at some point it encounters the remaining humans some point off in the future, and they're all like basically huge blobs, right, that are just getting fed kind of like liquid forms of nutrition, and they're in hover chairs, and they don't have to do anything. Just technology just takes care of them entirely, and then there's like some reckoning where they actually have to do some type of physical labor. I think I don't know. Maybe that was the crux of the conflict in the movie, but I remember that premise at least. And so now I'm thinking about this here, where like there could be a point where all of a sudden we won't even need to type in our chairs. We can just have full control over our lives, where there'll just be like a live AI mic on that is just taking direction from our words, and we can just have any creature comfort just delivered to us on an on-demand basis. And then think, okay, well, what about movement and so forth? But like look at these robotic technologies that are getting better day by day, kind of hand in hand with the AI progress. And so maybe not hover chairs initially, but could you have like like a robotic spider exoskeleton, and just people being carried around, not even having to move their arms. They just have robotic arms and so forth that can like feed themselves, and all you have to do is just talk your way through life. So I wouldn't want to live that way. I'm just saying, like, that is a reality that we might have to actually contend with, and where technology is kind of taking us. And I think there's already a number of people who are starting a trend in that direction. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially if you have the resources, just like, I literally do not have to do anything except talk and have every single demand accounted for my body. It's going to be very short-term thinking in terms of the actual health consequences, but in terms of just like pure comfort, I think there's a pathway there. Sorry, I can't keep some of these visions out of my mind here. Just keep chuckling about it, but like that's just something that isn't too far off. So I'm just starting to put together like what's the next logical step of where these technologies are taking us. Then just a couple of other takeaways when I was in Callan's boot camp just earlier today again too, and it's been on my list now for a while, but it's like, okay, what's the approach to do this? She has within her own team like a Callan avatar, to where all of her the context of how she thinks and past work and so forth can just has all this info built within the LLM project associated with her, and her team can ask that AI version of Callan, try to get answers before they ever come to the physical version of her. So I want to do that in our business. I think I have enough content to do that, even if we take like all the various podcasts. I mean, if there's a way to like almost download a lot of the email, I wonder if that's a way to do it. Can you just like extract or just like export all emails that have been sent? Because that's like best way to capture voice for the most part. I wonder how feasible that is. I want to look into that and create this avatar for the business side of myself as well. And then also like create one for like Callan's prompting skills, right? Because it's like, okay, we have these recordings, learning it a bit here, but like, can we grab the transcript, add that into a project that, whenever we're building out an AI prompt, we can go to the Callan prompt bot and say, okay, should we refine this prompt in any way before we start asking? So that could be another bridge that we can use as we get better at AI as well. And like even to create those, and I was like, we're entrepreneurs, right? Like visionary, yeah, it's like good in principle, and then when you actually get to it, it's just kind of like annoying to actually go through the whole process. So now it's like, okay, abstract that solution out even a step further to where you can just prompt the AI tool. It's like, okay, I want to build this, Chris bot within the business. I want to set up a whole project for it. And this is exactly what I want to do. I want my VA to mainly use it. What is the best step-by-step process for how to build one of these? What types of info would be best to add it in? How should I do that exactly within your LLM structure? I have the pro version of ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. Show me how to do that. And then all of a sudden it's like a step-by-step solution versus like me still having to figure out, okay, how to actually build that bot. So, just keep abstracting yourself out of this. And then all of a sudden, like you can get a lot of these questions just answered right away, or just toss that off to a team member. And then I don't even need to involve myself. So that is something else was really thinking about and just like immediately just taking action. I already put it into task manager. Okay, let's get this done. It's not going to take that long. But yeah, we're not just sitting on our hands. Like, the future is now. You got to grab it. More thoughts to come on this. With all that in mind, seriousland.capital for any of your funding needs. Zero cost review of your land deals at Land Daily Diligence. Facebook group. Remember 2 days from now, Thursday, April 17th, we're doing a virtual UnConference with Dave Deniston, myself, and Justin Sleva. Already have the 2 hot seats filled. Would love for you to attend regardless. And also landpricer.ai. Have a lot more kind of LLM developments there in terms of tests we've been running and the likely direction of where we're taking this upcoming product launch. So more to come on that side. Subscribe and share. With that, take care. Bye.